Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gaming Pubcast with myself, Martin, and my co-host, Duncan. Apologies, we did miss a week. We were sort of partying throughout the whole Christmas and New Year's breaks, but we are back in 2024. How are you, Duncan?
I'm all good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, happy 2024. We've got a
Yes.
episode where we're going to be looking back on the previous year and looking forward to this year. But before we get to that, should we just quickly go through what we've been playing? Because it's been a little bit of a break since we
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah. What I've been playing. Well, I was just telling you, I've been playing Saints Row, the reboot, because they gave it away free with Epic. So I've been playing it on the Steam Deck, which obviously I think it's is it an Epic exclusive or not? I don't know. But anyway, it runs really well on the Steam Deck through the Heroic launcher, and yeah, it isn't as good as the other Saints Rows that were good, but it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't terrible. I think the reviews of it were sort of around your 60% kind of thing.
I think it's because it's based on the previous games were so light. It just didn't live up to expectations.
Yes. So I haven't got very far. I've played it for about 2-3 hours so far, and it's bog standard Saints Row stuff. There's a bit of go over here, go over there kind of thing. So there's lots I probably haven't unlocked and whatnot, but it was free on Epic Store, so why not?
Yeah.
And we're just looking at, this will give away when we're recording, but they've just given away Guardians of the Galaxy as well. So I did actually complete that on Xbox, though, so I know about that game. It's a very good game, really good. If you like narrative games and like a bit of action, it's great. It just unfortunately came out at a similar time to the Avengers game, which was a bit soulless and not great, a bit repetitive. So, I've been playing Saints Row and upgrading my Steam Deck to a 1 terabyte because I've got it replaced, as I said previous episode, and I've also got a clear backplate. I haven't got the guts to do the front plate because you have to take the screen off and use a heat gun and. No, don't want to touch that. Taking the backplate off is easy. A few screws, take it off. Make sure you're grounded. Take the battery out, or take the battery tag out, and that's pretty much it. And so put the clear backplate on was just as easy as taking it off. So that's done. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing over Christmas. And then all the dad stuff. And if people who watch it on video, this is what my stepson got. Nice new headset and a new keyboard as well. So you can hear that. Technically not mine though, but I may have chosen
them. Good choices. The benefit of being an adult, you can choose. Unfortunately, my children aren't old enough yet where we're buying them video games or anything related. So when
you can always buy them a bottle of whiskey as an investment. Obviously it may not be there when they're 18, but
hopefully go up in price in time. The bottle, anyway, empty bottle.
So what have you been playing over Christmas?
So Christmas-wise, I didn't get any games or anything like that, unfortunately. But as I was telling you before, I do now have Game Pass because Samsung Smart TV. Put that up in my kitchen, put it on the wall. The reason I got a Samsung TV is because it's got Game Pass as an app on there. In addition to that, I upgraded my internet and I got a year's worth of Game Pass for free by upgrading to ET. So as well as getting faster internet, I've now got Game Pass to enjoy. So I've connected my PlayStation 5 controller up to it, and I've been playing.
Did you feel a little dirty when you did that, though?
Well, on
a Samsung TV, playing Microsoft Game Pass with a PlayStation controller.
Making them all come together. Just
Japan and
I've
no problem with it.
And and America all in one night big. So so the games that I haven't gone on like Starfield because that's like the obvious one, isn't it? But I was like, I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. I will play it, I will try it. But I started Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh, fantastic game.
Which I had like played a little bit before, but I hadn't played it properly because it was on Game Pass when I previously had Game Pass. But so I played that for where am I on it now? So he's come out of prison and he's realised.
Oh, so you're not that too far into it?
Not too far, yeah. He's really not to give away the story, but he's just found out that
that's the base. That's the basic fact of it.
Working for is no longer, and I just got shot, and I woke up in a bin basically, and now I'm like scavenging.
And you meet one of the main characters is homeless guy that saves you, kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've just met him, but I don't know much about.
I see. Him. You are very much at the start of the game because
I did spend quite a long time though playing Virtual Fighter because I went in a Sega arcade and spent all my money on it, and then I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that, but I just got addicted and just carried on playing. I probably was on that.
Money will be no problem eventually with that game.
I haven't really needed to spend money yet because. Yeah, I know you can buy food and that, but my health, I've been okay with my health, and it just when you go onto a new bit, it comes back, doesn't it? So,
I mean the Yakuza games because they're made by Sega, they have all these arcades in because the most recent one, the man who lost his name or something like that, that is the first time that Daytona 2 has been available to play at home. And so people have gone crazy over the fact that they can play Daytona USA 2 in it. But I remember in that one, Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon, it was you could play Space Harrier as well, I think, was it?
Yeah, cause I didn't, because I played Virtual Fighter, spent all my money, and so I didn't really look at what the other ones were. But that was the first one I came to, and it was a game that I used to play when I had the Sega Saturn back in the day. But so yeah, that was quite nice. I like stuff like that in games where they have those little touches where you can, like I think we mentioned it before when Shenmue
came out,
go and play arcade and stuff like that. The other game I've been playing is Hellblade.
Senua's Sacrifice.
Senua's Sacrifice, which I didn't play, but I've like read a lot of stuff about it in terms of about it being sort of quite
it's
visually pleasing game.
It's visually brilliant. It's very deep. The story. It's quite
psychosis.
So it's quite complex because it never actually tells you what's going on, kind of thing. It's just you hear the voices and you see her maybe hallucinating and maybe not. And I've never completed it because I got stuck on one particular puzzle area and I couldn't work it out.
So far, and again, I haven't played it much, but like the opening theme is quite like probably one of the like when you're in that boat and you're going through, and then you can see all the dead bodies like spiked up, and they're telling you not to carry on, and it's sort of like a bit chilling.
It's definitely not one you want to play. The kids won't enjoy watching it though.
No. So I have been playing it at night when I have played it, which is again probably also not a great time to play it. I think I played it I think it was like Christmas Eve when I first played it, and my partner was in the other room, and she said, "Oh, what's that? What you're playing? It sounds like they've got psychosis." And I was like, "I literally do have psychosis." So they've got got that part.
Yeah, I mean they won all sorts of awards to do with the portrayal of mental health, and the woman who did the face capture and the acting won all sorts of awards. I don't think she was even an actress. I think, or she was a nobody anyway, and then suddenly has become this well-respected gaming actor.
Well, I did, but and like you said, like it is very much you have to work out what you need to do. So like early on in the game, there's a couple of times where I'm like not really 100% sure. I haven't got stuck yet, but there has been a couple of times where it's taken me a while to get past a certain point because trying to work, because it's like matching up. You get the pattern, don't you? Like match up the
and there's some places as well where there's archways and things you look through
the
it.
archer, you got to go through it, and then
you go through one way and things are looking. You can go across a bridge, but then you come in through another way. And the bridge isn't there, and it's like
There's like one bit where I had to go through the archway because the wall had broken, and it was the only way of getting in. So I had to go in, open the gate, but then I had to go back into that archway and go through it. So the wall would come back, and then I could then go. So stuff like that, which like you just find out. And I again, it took me a while to sort of work things out because they don't really tell you. You're just there.
It's on that border of being not. It's where you're just like, I'm going to give up in a minute, and then something will maybe click, or you see something and you're like, hang on.
Yeah, you're just walking about and like aimlessly at some point.
And you get close, you get really close to giving up, and then you might see something. But there was a point where I was walking around for about an hour in one,
quite like
the same place.
The fighting at the moment. So from the reviews I've read, that was one of the puzzles got criticised, and also the melee, the fighting in it, can become repetitive from what they're saying. But so far, because I haven't played it that much, the fighting I have done, I've quite enjoyed. Because I don't know, I found like it's quite a challenge, but also so it's not obviously as much of a challenge as like from Software games, but it is.
It's pretty difficult. I mean, I would get I died a couple of times here and there, kind of thing.
It's insta death as well, isn't there, on the game as well? So if you
they have like
you have a skull or something, and if you build that up, you die.
Okay.
Well, I think from what they're saying, she loses her mind to psychosis, so a little bit of jeopardy. But I don't know how, because at first they just threw me in. I didn't know I was in a fight scene, and then I just started getting. And they didn't even tell me the buttons to fight, so I ended up dying like a couple times right at the start. But now I'm okay with the fighting.
Well, I can't remember if there's an easy mode, but generally I play things on easy. Generally, I'm just like, I want the story kind of thing. So yeah, I wouldn't have any. If it was an insta kill kind of game, like you from Software games, I'd probably be like, nah, no thanks. But no, I like it. It's probably not a game that I'd be like, oh, game of the year kind of thing, but it's one that I'd say to people, yeah, definitely play it. But yeah, I suppose in my older years now, I just want the more. I think I've said this many times. I just want somebody to go, here's the story. We put it on a nice little plate for you. And here's the puzzles. And if you can't do the puzzles, we'll put a big arrow over something.
Sometimes you just want an easy.
Yeah. I want to be challenged, but only for about 5 minutes. And then I want somebody to go, there you go. It's there.
Because I've been playing that and Like a Dragon. There is a big contrast. Like a Dragon, there are some challenging moments in there.
There are some really challenging battles when you get later on.
I mean, there's been a couple. I mean, I've died a couple times. I'm still quite early on in the game, but I don't mind dying because it's enjoyable. So I don't mind doing things like doing it again. There's some games where you're like, I'm not doing that again. But
I absolutely wet myself in that game with some of the funny things and the characters you meet and the hilarious things that happen. Oh, it was just hilarious. I absolutely loved it. And the only reason I like that one the most compared to other ones is I've tried to do the real time, like the fighting in the other Yakuza games. And I just couldn't get on with it. It's supposedly tactical.
I haven't played the other Yakuzas.
Well, they're not.
Well,
They're fighting games, so you know it's X to punch, but you've got to time things, and you've got to do. There's certain moves that you get.
It's not, so it's not turn-based like.
No, it's not turn-based. In fact, I saw today there was an article I read where somebody's released a mod for Yakuza Like a Dragon to make it a real-time fighter. Now, for me, that's the opposite. I'd like the other ones to be the turn-based. But I think if we're going to talk about 2024 later, then I think my game of 2024 may be associated with that. So we'll get onto that later.
Yeah, wow. Let's get on to 2023 before we get
2023, yes. Well,
what did you make of 2023 in terms of gaming, Duncan?
There's a lot of games that I thought, wow, that came out this year, and I looked them up, and I looked it up, and I looked another up, and I looked another up, and I thought, oh, they all came out in 2022. Because there was things like Vampire Survivors came out in 2022, Elden Ring 2022. Yeah, there was a few others that I looked up, and I was like, oh, they all came out in 2022. But it has been a really good year. I mean, whether it's games that I haven't played, like your Spider-Man 2s,
Zelda came out, the new
Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, yeah.
But there's a lot of games you've obviously Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate all came out.
And then we come to those, yes. Now, I was thinking for my personal game of the year. Now, I still haven't completed Baldur's Gate 2 because of my problems with the Steam Deck. I haven't finished it. Now, it's not just because of that, but probably my personal game of the year I'm going to give to Alan Wake 2 because I did this. I made a comment when I submitted to Eurogamer for Games of the Year as well, and I put comments that they actually published, where I said basically I'm a wuss with horror games, and it's made me play it, and now I've started off the intro, but I've started off the New Game Plus. Now there is no other horror game, and probably no other narrative game in the last 5 years that I've played more than once. No, none at all. And I mean, one thing is I want to get back to that musical bit and put a save game at the beginning of that, so I could just play that bit over and over again. To be honest, but it's just a great. The atmosphere is great. The graphics are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, if you think about it, Control was a gorgeous looking game, although it was very grey, and that came out in the previous gen. So Remedy have kept this current gen, and it's beautiful game. Atmosphere, story, graphics, just great. I mean, some people moaned about the fighting, but it's not an action game. It's not and it is a basic. Yeah, here's a baddie. You got to shine light on it, and then you got to shoot it, kind of thing. But those are what add to the atmosphere because you'll have shadows coming up to you, or the characters will be covered in shadow. It's just absolutely amazing. Baldur's Gate 3, I think, technically, is it's just an outstanding game. I watched a video the other day, and there was this girl describing one mission where she aggregated loads of ways people had done it, and there was about 40 or 50 different ways that she'd got off the internet of various people saying how they'd completed the level of the mission, and that was one mission in the whole game, and it was all fully voiced. No matter what happened within it, it was voiced appropriately. So people reacted to what people did, and it's just outstanding. And it looks good, not as good as Alan Wake, but for personal game of the year, Alan Wake 2 for me.
And I know this podcast started in August, wasn't it? So
July or August, yeah, something like
that. Because there's probably like games that came out early 2023 that we didn't. So like Hogwarts Legacy that came out. Did you play Hogwarts Legacy?
I did. I pre-ordered. I did. And I actually got the deluxe one because I found an offer somewhere on some website that meant I got the deluxe for just as much as the normal one. And it was a great game. I liked it. Somebody recently described, what did they describe it as? They described it as like The Witcher 3 for Hogwarts. And I was like, no. It was a good game. But if Baldur's Gate 3 is an Alan Wake is a 9 or 10 out of 10, then Hogwarts is a 7 or 8 for me. Yeah, and it looked good, and it was gorgeous to fly around on the hippogriffs and other flying things. But yeah, it wasn't something that you enjoyed. It wasn't like you went down every single path and found something new or anything. It was, it was all right. It was good. I enjoyed it.
All right. It's not the best, but it's still good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's come up against some of the best games possibly ever. You know, in things like Baldur's Gate 3, it's come up against a game that will be remembered forever. There'll be people talking about Baldur's Gate 3 in 30 years' time. And Hogwarts Legacy, there'll probably be other Harry Potter games that come out. Yeah.
It did get all the main awards, didn't it? Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. So, I mean, lots of other games that come out this year that I've really enjoyed. Cocoon. That was in terms of puzzle games, one of the best puzzle games of the last few years. It was weird to get your head around that you were carrying a world and then go within another world, but then you come out of that world, turn the other world into a ball, and go that world into so mind blown. But it did it very well, and it was very clever puzzle game. Excuse me. Don't really what else. Dave the Diver. I played that for probably 20 plus hours, and that I'm still not nowhere near finishing the story missions, I think. But it's also a fantastic game for the Steam Deck. It works perfect for the Steam Deck. But then I'm still playing games from 2022. Vampire Survivors. I still play that here and there for half an hour here, half an hour there. But yeah, so I think if I'm going to say 2022 compared to 2023, 2023 is probably better. Oh,
I am here.
You are there, yeah. So those that are listening,
yeah,
he's just had to disappear from the video sec. Yeah, so 2023 overall better because you have got Tears of the Kingdom, you got Spider-Man 2, you got Baldur's Gate 3, you got Starfield, you've got Alan Wake 2, you've got Final Fantasy 16's come out. Lies of P, that took everybody by surprise. It's like a From Software clone, but not From Software. They brought out Armored Core 6. There has been some misses this year, I think. I mean, Nintendo brought out a few big games, didn't they? So for me, I mean, like you, I think we're both. Well, I purposely avoided one big game because I thought you'd mention it. It's got a number 4 in it.
I said most of the games that I played this year or last year, were not released in 2023 because most of my games that I play were from PlayStation Plus. That unfortunately don't do day one releases like Game Pass does. However, I did get Diablo 4, and I did really enjoy that. So that's probably my game of the year. because it's probably one of the only games that I have played that was released. Yeah, I did really enjoy it at the same time. Got EA FC 24, which obviously did come out this year, but which I'd probably the game I've probably played the most this year, but that's more down to just being addicted. And Ultimate Team just has sort of quite a lot of play. You can carry on with Ultimate Team, and then there's also an app, so you can't even get away from it as well. When you're not on the console, you can still do some stuff on the app. But yeah, in terms of
yes, boss, I'm just checking emails.
Yeah, really, I'm on transfer.
Damn it, I lost Messi.
doing or something. But no, yeah, my actual, I think the game that I really enjoyed the most was Diablo 4. Playing that.
Now, obviously,
with my friends as well, so.
That got very, very mixed reviews. I mean, I've never been a fan of these because like I've said, I'm somebody who likes the narrative, and then I very rarely play things again. But the whole point of Diablo is that you finish it and then you just play for loot. But don't you? It's a loot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely. After I finished the story, I didn't play it that much after that. That's like things you can do because they have like dungeons and stuff like that, and there's like different skill like levels.
I don't know if you remember this though. You had a baby.
Yeah, it was sort of the time and was not great, but yeah. So I did the whole story, and then it was pretty minimal after that because it was more to do with just leveling up your character. They did add quite a bit onto it in terms of what you could do because like once you got to the highest sort of level, then you could go onto another bit where it was like you could like paths and stuff like that which you could take. So they obviously did think about what can we do to, and then I mean within the game as well, like they would have like live events and stuff happening. So there were things, but I can see why
it was still enjoyable.
Yeah, but I can see why people would have that as their sort of main criticism in terms of what can you do afterwards. But
I think
reviews. I mean,
compared to 3, was it? I heard. I haven't played it at all. I haven't even touched it at all. Is it more of a one single open world with dungeons in it, or was it lots of little air maps like previous?
No, it's like open world. So you have to like travel to places, and then while you're traveling to places, obviously you can get like attack. You can fast travel as well because it's got like big map. But then once you go into like dungeons or whatever, then you go into like a linear part of it, and then you'll see have a. But other than the sort of levels and dungeons, it is open world. You can sort of go where you want. But just looking at the actual like the scores, like the reviews from the critics was 86, which was quite good. But then
see, that's pretty good.
User one, so people who play it is 2.2, which is really bad.
See, but the problem is that you get people do what they call review bombing, but it's just people going, this hasn't got FSR, I'm going to give it 1 out of 10, or this is online all the time, I'm going to give it 1 out of 10. So, whoa, okay. If you don't like that and it's not for you, great. But you can still play it. You can do that. If you're somebody who is not online and you bought the game, you should have checked that out first. But
as we all know, more people complain than they do praise. So you're always going to get people. And then, like, I was just reading some of them. A lot of them is to do with the fact that once the story finishes, there's not much to do. So,
but then I haven't played it, so I don't know how it's different compared to Diablo 1, 2, 3. But isn't that the point, though, is that you finish it and then you just have to do certain bits of it or the whole thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? I
know, like, games nowadays, but a lot of games, you finish the story and then you get a new game. Or DLC, you wait for DLCs to come out.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of these roguelike games, isn't it? That you do the game over and over and over again. Now, some of it do it very well, like Hades. I haven't got far enough, but apparently it changes as you complete it. I don't know, but anyway, I'm sure the main fact is that you liked it.
I liked it.
I haven't played it, so I don't know why I'm digging at it.
What games did you maybe didn't like in 2023, or what games maybe did you not play because
a game that disappointed me. Strangely enough, it is just a tiny little indie game. Is Arcade Paradise, because it came out to really good reviews, and people saying it was really good and everything, and then it came to Xbox Game Pass, and it was such a buggy mess for me. I either couldn't play for half an hour without it crashing, and there was no. It would save at the end of the day, so there was no saving. If you could play for 35, 40 minutes just one day, and if it crashed in the mid, like near before the end of the day, that was it. You lost those 40 minutes. And then I got times where I was playing, and then suddenly the A button wouldn't work, and no matter what I did, and that meant I couldn't do anything. And so in the end, I just had to stop playing it, and it was a shame because the premise of it, although weird, you run a laundromat and you have an arcade in the back room, and you make more money in the laundromat, and you buy more arcade games and collect the money from the arcade games, and you can play the arcade games. So yeah, it's a great game. I just couldn't play it. So for me, that was a miss. That was a miss. I wished it wasn't. I mean, in terms of what I've played, what else have I played that's been terrible? I don't really. So I'm generally very positive, or I never actually remember games that I played. I should probably get my Steam library up, shouldn't I? Although I always close Steam down to. Yeah, so I don't know. There hasn't been any abysmal games. So unfortunately, despite it being an okay game, I'm going to give my worst game to Arcade Paradise.
Yeah.
A
game I didn't play, but I was disappointed because I was looking forward to it. Was the Gollum game, and that's genuinely I was looking forward. That was one of the games that I was going into 2023. I was like, oh, I do like Lord of the Rings games.
And it was made by Daedalic. Was it Daedalic? One of the games who they don't make those kind of games, but they made some nice games. I think they just overreached a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know. When they brought out the trailer, I was thinking like, I know you're thinking, well, the game might be good, but it doesn't look good.
It did look good, did it?
Reading the comments and stuff, and people are like, why have you brought out on PS3 graphics? Things like that. Yeah, I don't know. But that was a bit of a disappointment because I was looking forward to have a good go on a Lord of the Rings game, but I was like, well, I'm not going to pay for it. But like you said in the last episode, they potentially might be bringing it out. So people can try it, can't they, for free? So, which I would have a go on if it was free. But
yeah, I'd play it if it was free. Yeah, there was one that I haven't played that I was annoyed that it was because it had such a great cast of characters. Was that Crime City one, and it was like a first-person shooter. Payday GTA kind of thing. I don't know because I haven't played it because it got such terrible reviews. But it's got, I think the main character is Michael Madsen. It had Chuck Norris, Danny Trejo, Michael Rooker from Guardians of the Galaxy. All these, great modelled, all their voices, and it was basically it looks like an Expendables kind of thing. Maybe with a bit of sort of Texas kind of style, and it sort of came out from nowhere, and I was like, ooh, that's interesting, like cheesy 90s action movie kind of thing. But the thing is, when something comes from nowhere and then says, "Oh look, we're out, you can buy us now," yeah, just wait for the reviews. And the reviews came in, and they were terrible. I think they probably thanked Gollum personally for taking the heat off them.
About that game,
and I'm pretty sure this Crime City, whatever it's called, Crime Boss Rock City, I think probably had a bigger budget than Gollum, with all the stars that it had in it.
What was that one we spoke about last time, which came out and it?
The King Kong one.
No, not the King Kong one. I think it was like the most ordered Steam game. It was the most wish list. It was to do with it's like an post-apocalyptic game.
Oh, the day before. The day before, yes. Yeah, I think that's the biggest disaster. But I think so many people can see it coming. And there was, like I said, that with that review, the one that I think was one of the top Steam reviews was, turns out it's not a scam. So, kind of wish it was, though. Because it was just, everyone was saying, oh, yeah, it's a scam, because there was loads of things about plagiarism and stealing assets and all this kind of thing. And the fact that they thought it was a scam, it wasn't coming out even at all. And then it did come out. It was a disaster, and they pulled the plug. And I think refunds were being sorted. So, okay, as long as people got their refunds, that's all good. But apparently, keys for that, like Steam keys that people have bought, are going for like £120, £150 kind of thing. Because you can't buy it now. So, to actually try it, and people were cashing in.
Should have invested in it.
Yes, the thing. If you bought a Steam key for it for, I don't know, 40 quid or 50 quid or something, then right now you could have been sat on 4 times as much. But I don't know if the servers have actually been turned off now, or if they said they're just going to turn them off after a few months, kind of thing. But the company folded and closed down immediately, which a lot of people, possibly rightly, I don't know, said, I think that shows it was a scam. They've taken the money and run. But again, people were getting refunds. So I don't know. But yeah, biggest disaster definitely goes to the day before. Oh, so terrible.
2023, I think overall, we'd say it's a good year for games.
Oh, fantastic year!
More good games than bad games. There were
have you finished any game this year, like on your Wii U or on the SNES or anything? That any proud gaming highlights that you've had this year?
Well, I've finished games that I've finished before. So like Twilight Princess, I finished that, but I've done that quite a few times. I wouldn't say I was particularly proud of that. That's something I've done a few times, like Wind Waker as well. So no, I'm not. I don't really have any particular gaming.
Well, I completed Donkey Kong Country recently.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So now, granted, that's with using save states.
Yeah, and that's what I do on the, because you can do that on the Wii U, so you can stop it.
And you can save a nice safe little place.
Hard bit,
it basically gives you infinite lives, and you can do the hard bits as many times as you like.
Yeah. So certain bits on that kind of game that I wouldn't want to start over again, like really hard bits. So I'm always like, okay, once I get here, I'm gonna save it, and then I know that if I die, I'm just going to go back to that bit. So
yeah,
but still, to complete the game, it is a really challenging game. So you still have to go through it, don't you? I know you're.
Yeah, there were certain bits in it that I thought, I died a lot of times, and I'd just reload the state, and I would just think I would have had to restart. I'm sure when you run out of lives, did you have to restart the whole game or just from that level? In the original,
I can't remember now. I think Because I think it'd be like because you can save it on the original, can't you?
Okay.
When you get to the guy in the aeroplane, that allows you to save.
Oh, okay. Is that what that was? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, I had this guy with the plane, and I'm like, oh, what? Oh no, there was a woman, wasn't there? Candy. Oh yeah, Candy or something that you go up to her shack, and you can save it.
Yeah, so I think you would. Yeah, you would.
That's there. I couldn't work. That was it. I asked you and Tom, didn't I? I should probably say that Tom is just having some technical difficulties. So hopefully, we are hoping he might be able to join us at some point. Although not looking like it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, I did ask you two, and you two were a bit like, I think it's, I don't know, it's, but it was, yeah, you get in the plane and you go off somewhere. I don't know, and I still don't know what it was for. But anyway, I did complete Donkey Kong Country, so now I've got to try Donkey Kong Country 2.
Did you enjoy it though? Did you enjoy the Donkey Kong?
I think the fact that I had save states meant yes. I think without the save states, I think I would have just given up a long time before, because there were some bits that were tough, and you'd have to find a good place in the middle to save the state. And obviously, you had to be careful where you save, because if you saved over a previously good one and you saved just before you died or something like that, you lost. You had to die. But generally, I was pretty good at knowing that. There was a couple of times where I forgot to do a save state, and I did most of a level and then died and was like, "Oh, I've got to do the whole thing again." The minecart levels and the ones in the mines, generally the horrible ones.
But then they have them on the new ones as well, the tropical freeze. They've got the mine ones, which I enjoy doing them. But they are frustrating.
They are notorious, aren't they? Yes. So, all right. Well,
should we move on to
2024? I mean, let's go straight into, I think, to do with what you were talking about. One of the games that's actually coming to Game Pass, day one, is basically Yakuza Like a Dragon 2. But it's Ishin Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. No. No. I don't know. But it's Infinite Wealth, yes. Because apparently the Like a Dragon is what they're called in Japan. They're not called Yakuza. Something to do with that. But yeah, Infinite Wealth. Infinite Wealth is coming out in February or March. And
I thought it was coming out sooner than that. I thought it was coming out January, unless that's when it's coming out.
Infinite Wealth. It is coming out. Oh my god, it's coming out in January.
Yeah.
Yay! 26th of January 2024. Oh my goodness, that is making me very happy. Pretty sure it's coming out on
3 weeks.
Game Pass. Is it coming out on Game Pass day one? I'm sure it said that though it was coming out on Game Pass day one. No, there's no chance for it. No, hang on. What? There's no chance. Infinite Wealth won't be on. No, it won't be. Oh, I take it back.
You'll have to buy it then.
No.
Yeah, I didn't it, but you seem so convincing that I didn't decide to.
No. Oh well. I might have to look that up then, because that's it was the first one was such a good game.
Yeah,
and I'm so looking forward to that.
It'd be worth. Like there's some games where you don't mind.
I mean, have you seen the reveal trailer for it, where he wakes up on the beach in Hawaii? He doesn't have a stitch on, and he doesn't realise for about 2 minutes, and wanders around on the beach. But yeah, no, they're so crazy, but they have such a good story. And you could do so much in them. There's so many mini games. A bit like Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver has so many different mini games, and it's so each one is fun, but all together it makes it even better. And yeah, all the characters, all the hilarious things that happen in the first one. And I presume, I mean, there's men in nappies. Brilliant. They're hilarious games, and I love them. There's gardening in them. There's the arcades. There's business simulators. There's kart racing games. I think in one of the Yakuza games, there's a Scalextric kind of mini game where you have to do Scalextric cars around a track. Yes, just so good, so good. And it's not on Game Pass. I'll clarify that it's not on Game Pass. I'm looking it up now. But that doesn't say it won't be on Game Pass. It just won't be on Game Pass at launch. And they have said, I think I've read somewhere that they've said it's the biggest Yakuza game they've ever made. Okay. As in things to do. So
we got a Prince of Persia game that's coming out this month. New Prince of Persia game. I think that's coming out I think that's even come out sooner than the than Yakuza. I think that's coming out in a couple of weeks.
It's a 2.5D one, is it? So it's basically
a So it's not like a AAA sort of releases. I think it's being released at about £40. So I imagine, but I've always enjoyed the Prince of Persia games.
Yes.
I know there was one before on the Mega Drive and all that, but the Sands of Time, and I can't remember what was the other one, but it was the Sands of Time. Was the one I enjoyed.
Sands, the Forgotten Sands, wasn't it? Was it Forgotten Sands? But then again, there was the terrible movie that Jake Gyllenhaal was in, which was awful.
In terms of game I'm looking forward to the most, as well as Like a Dragon, because I am, after now playing it, I am looking forward to playing like the new one. But Avowed, is that I don't know if I've been out.
Avowed. Right. Avowed. Yes, that's Obsidian, isn't it?
Obsidian. That'll be a Game Pass day
yes,
one, won't it?
Yeah. Well, they're a first party now, so. Yes,
that'd be a lot of. I don't know. There's not a date on that. But
are you a Star Wars fan?
Yes,
because
the
Outlaws game, isn't it? It's coming out by
big open world.
What's it called? Massive Entertainment, isn't it?
We're getting a lot of Star Wars games.
Who do what you call it? The Division. It's the same developer as the Division. Outlaws. So yeah, that's coming out. The thing is with that Division, I love the Division, except for I don't like the online stuff because it's not toxic, but it's basically people kill you to take your stuff that you just spent ages trying to get or whatever. What about Skull and Bones? Are you interested in that? The much delayed Skull and Bones, because it is coming out. It's got a date and everything, and it's possibly the final date. They're not going to hopefully delay it anymore because it's been delayed. And people have played a beta of it and said it's pretty good. It's good fun.
Well, I'll give it a go. I think
it's an Ubisoft. It's basically on the back of Assassin's Creed 4, on the sailing, the boat, the ship battles. It's basically a cross between Assassin's Creed ship battles and Sea of Thieves, I think.
Yeah.
But it was first announced about 5 years ago, I think. And it's been delayed and delayed and delayed.
Tell you a game as well, which is a little bit. I only recently stumbled across it. It was a game called Black Myth Wukong. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah. No.
It looks really good in terms of you're like, I don't know, some sort of human / monkey person by the looks of it. Yeah, it gives, looking at it, it's like sort of, might not be, hopefully for your sake, it's not as
Heard of it.
difficult From Software games, but it looks giving me those vibes when I'm looking at like the gameplay and sort of the images of it. It looks really good.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I can't remember what it looks like though. But hang on.
I think that's out in August. So that does have a release date. So yeah, Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah. Looks, well, that's some pre-alpha games I'm just looking at. Looks very, very pretty. I'm presuming it's all the new game engines are being used now, which whether it's Alan Wake 2 or Unreal 5 games, games are looking good now.
I think it's from a Chinese developer as well.
Yep. It's a developer called Game Science, and it uses Unreal Engine 5. So yes, it is a Unreal Engine 5 game. So is there any major game? I mean, no, GTA 6 isn't coming out till 2025. You've got Senua's Sacrifice or Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2 coming out next year.
Yeah.
I don't know when that is coming out. I think it's just 2024. I don't think they've given a date yet. But I think if you've seen the sort of trailers for that, they haven't bothered with actual trailers. They've just used in-engine footage, and you would think it was like a CGI movie. It's that good looking. How they do that? I mean, how they did that with the previous generation, the graphics on that, it just astounding. But the second one, it just looks absolutely amazing, absolutely jaw-dropping.
Coming out next year as well, isn't it?
Tekken 8, yeah. So always good for a good battle Tekken, but there's no
Dogma 2.
There are all lots of games that I would like to play if it was on Game Pass. I don't know whether Game Pass has spoiled me or what. There's very few that I would buy there, other than Avowed and Infinite Wealth, probably. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that's coming out, but I don't own a PlayStation. I do own a PC, but I can imagine the Steam Deck will cry if I try and play Final Fantasy VII on it. Apparently, the first one, Final Fantasy VII Remake, or Intergrade, whatever it's called, works on Steam Deck, but I don't know. But they also, Square never ever reduce anything on PC. So a game that's 50 quid, well, they reduce it, but instead of 50 quid, it'll be 40 quid. And it'll go back up to 50 quid. So it's not great.
Yeah, just Dragon's Dogma 2. That's out next year. I don't know if you're
Dragon's Dogma, I own it. I think on at least 2 devices. I've just never got around to playing it. I really want to play it. Never got.
They've got the second one coming out next year. So, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So,
well, that's meant to be coming out for a long time. So, it's one of these games that's, I think, they've said 2024 when they previously said 2021, kind of thing. I think it was announced in 2020 or 2019 or something like that. It's been going on for a long time. So we'll wait and see if we.
It does seem like there are quite a few games to look forward to.
There are.
Like massive, like last year when we had like Starfield and the new Zelda game, like games where
the big name games. Yeah,
there doesn't seem to be that in 2024.
If you like Paradox Interactive, who make City Skylines, that kind of thing, they are trying to take over the Sims crown with Life by You. which is basically their version of The Sims. So a life game. I think that has already had people playing demos of it and
When
whatnot.
was the last Sims game that came out? Sims 4, wasn't it?
Well, they are apparently making Sims 5, I think, but I reckon it'll just be straight to free to play,
Sims 4
and maybe even integrate with Sims 4, because Sims 4 is currently is free to play now. So life could be interesting.
Any predictions for 2024, Duncan? What do you
Pardon?
think? Any predictions for 2024?
I think we'll have a couple more. I think Xbox will have a revision of their consoles. I think the leak, they said, "Oh, that's all old information." Yeah, but I think they'll be, because the PlayStation brought out their slimmer version, and they are bringing out obviously the 1 terabyte Series S with the black. But yeah, I think there'll be revisions. Maybe to the Series S, but I don't think so. I think the Series X is going to have a revision. Whether it's the circular one that was in the leak, no, probably not. I think maybe just make it a bit thinner. I don't know.
Do you think we'll have a Nintendo Switch 2 in 2024?
There's been a lot of hints of Christmas 2024. Yeah, yeah. Nintendo don't really go, we're releasing something in 2 years. They go, we're releasing something and it's coming out in 2 months, kind of thing. So yeah, yes, maybe. I think it could come out.
Would it going to be the same sort of power as a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox?
Ooh, well, that's a good question. I reckon it'll be a Series S competitor, but at a £400 price point. I think they'll try and keep it. That was a chair. If you heard that, just think. There you go. I did it again.
Yeah.
Oh no. I think the thing is now there's so many processors, there's so many APUs like in handheld PCs, showing that the power that you can get in handheld form. I think if they brought something out that was still the generation before power, I think even if it's Nintendo, I think a lot of people will go, "What? Really?"
Yeah, and I think now Switch, it's like when they have like games like Mortal Kombat, and it just gets, you can see that it just can't do.
Yeah. And if
Zelda was like quite an achievement compared to, like, for what it can do on that console, but it's going to get to a point where it becomes outdated. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an upgrade, but like, how big of an upgrade would it be?
I mean, from what I can gather, the Tegra chip that's in there is basically just an Android tablet chip that's in it in the Switch, and it's 7 years old now, 8 years old. The chip itself. I don't know about the Switch. When did the Switch come out? So yes. So the fact that it's the fact that it's so old, the chip is so old. They've got to have something at least to the power probably of the Steam Deck. If they can get something that can run things like this as well as the Steam Deck can, but you've got the Z1 processors in the ROG Ally and things like that. So it should have some kind of good power to it, but it will have the usual Nintendo cuteness, I think. And it won't be. It's not going to be £800 for some handheld, powerful, really ultra powerful thing. It's going to be £350, maybe £400 at a push. And it's gonna give the Series S, I think, a run for its money.
A new Super Mario, because
it'll have Tears of the Kingdom on it. It'll have Super Mario on it. So it'll be
Well, they'll probably bring a new Super Mario, won't they? Because the last one, Odyssey, that came out when the Switch sort of came out. So they'll probably
Super Mario Brothers Wonder though. That's
they'll have some release games, won't they? They won't just bring it out. They'll bring out with something.
Yeah, they'll come out with something, but I'm pretty sure they'll have a re-release of Super Mario Brothers Wonder with some extra levels or pretty graphics or something. But although Super Mario Brothers Wonder is a fantastic looking game for that hardware.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we didn't mention it in our review, but that was one of the games which got really highly, in the list of games of the year, wasn't it? With Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yes, it's a brilliant game. I mean, you have a musical dancing plant level within the first 3 or 4 levels, and it's a fantastic game, great fun. But yeah, it still wasn't quite the game of the year for me. You
might have a Metroid Prime, because that's been the last one of those was Wii,
I think there was a remaster due this year.
There was a Switch. Yeah. There was a it wasn't it was a Metroid game, but not Metroid Prime that came out on the Switch a couple of years ago.
I think it was. There was. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, last year there was a Metroid remaster or something like that. I've never played any of the 3D Metroids before. Have you ever?
I played the ones on the GameCube. They're really good. So I would look. Yeah, Metroid Dread came out, which isn't obviously.
Oh yes.
That came out a couple of years ago, I think. Now.
That was a sort of 2.5D one, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they were making the Prime, and then they did an announcement. This was years and years ago, and they made announcements, and they would start again because they weren't happy with how it was, and they want it to be the standard that everyone expects it to be. So it meant that they had to put it back into development, which people were angry at the time. I'm sure it'd be worth it if the game comes out and it's.
So yeah, I think 2023 was the year of big names, and 2024, I think I'm hoping some games surprise me, and other than that, I mean, unless some games that haven't had a date, like your Fables, that kind of thing, come out.
Yeah.
There's no big name ones that I'm like, yay, that's going to be amazing.
Hades 2, that's coming out next year, isn't it?
See again,
not a massive game, but
very popular, very well reviewed, but okay, it's not for me. Not for me. It's good for a quick game. You kill a few things, you die. That's it. You can go to bed.
It's a hard game.
Yes. I never got to the end where the story sort of finishes, or I never escaped. That's the one. So yeah, there you go.
There you go. I think.
Well, that's our two. I'm pretty sure I'll beat Tom for a second. Personal game of the year, something on the Amstrad. Worst game of the year, something on CDI. Hardware of the year, Amstrad. He does like his Amstrads, doesn't he?
He likes NES. He likes the NES as well.
Miss you, Tom. I think his hardware of the year. He's got the MetaQuest 3.
Yeah, MetaQuest, isn't he?
So that might be his. We'll have to find out in the next episode of
the reason Pubcast. Tom will no longer have IT issues in a week's time.
Yes. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, so I think we've nattered on for an hour and 4 minutes. So I think it's just down to us to say like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff.
Right, and tune in next week.
Tune next week. But
what's your favourite? What game are you looking forward to most in 2024? What did you enjoy the most in 2023? Let us know. Thank you.
And hopefully Martin will have sorted his problems out and we can get his
Martin.
predictions.
Tom.
You're not Martin, Tom. Oh, blimey.
I do have problems, but
no, you don't need to say everything again. Don't worry. Tom next week, hopefully. Right, and on that note, bye.